Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Bernie here, and maybe you're asking why your footage doesn't look filmic at all. Well, guess what? And for your question, I have the answer for you. So the Dehancer team contacted me and asked me if I can test out the beta 1.0 version of Dehancer Pro for Final Cut Pro. And of course, I said yes, since I would love to add a film emulation plugin to my arsenal. So disclaimer that they gave me a 2-week promo code to test out the plugin, and this video is my own opinion. And they did not pay me to do this Dehancer review. And most importantly, they haven't seen this video before publishing it on YouTube. So now that it's out of the way, let's get into it. So what is Dehancer? It's a film emulation plugin which was released in 2014, and now come 2022, here we are with Dehancer Pro Beta 1.0 for Final Cut Pro. It has different film stocks to choose from, which is really great. And not only that, they even included some other effects, and if enabled, will add to the overall film look of your video. People have been waiting for Final Cut Pro version, and it's exciting since it's finally here. Let's see what this plugin can do, starting off with the film grain. Film grain in Dehancer Pro is not just an overlay, it recreates your image out of grain. In this example, it's zoomed in at 400%, and as you notice, it lets it blend in, resulting in a more organic look. I really like what I see here, but by default, I'd say it's a lot. So tone down a bit or tweak the controls to your liking. For me, I like it to be subtle and just the right amount of film grain to my images. Next is Halation, and to be honest, this is my first time hearing about it, and since I haven't used film, I really had no idea. So what is halation then? It is a subtle red glow around bright light sources. It can also be halo or fringe effects in high contrast edges of your image. If you will be watching a video on YouTube with halation enabled, it will be very hard to see, but it's good to have this feature in case you will need it for future use. Moving on now to the next effect that I'm excited about. Let's take a look now at bloom. It's like a mist filter and is caused by imperfections in optical design. It is most prominent when shooting with vintage lenses, as well with special lenses or with special optical filters, including Pro Mist. And as a result, diffuse glow appears around light sources, bright areas of the scene, and along high contrast edges. And speaking of vintage lenses, these next sample video clips were filmed on a GH5, mind you with a Canon FD 28mm lens when we were in New York in 2011. Alright, now let's continue on with the other effects of Dehancer Pro. So what about vignette, film breath, and gate weave? Vignette is the darkened edges of the image if you want to add a more dramatic look. You know, I'm not a fan of vignette and I rarely use this effect, but it's good that it's included in Dehancer Pro. Film breath allows to have changes in image in terms of color, contrast, and exposure. Its inconsistency adds to the image's overall film look. It's also more of like a pulsating effect when viewing an image. It is mostly caused by uneven emulsion coating during the development process, the instability of the camera shutter, and deviations in film development. And finally, Gate weave. It is where there's a movement to the image caused by a mechanical swinging of a film strip while it is being pulled through a frame window in a film camera, projector, or video coding device. You know, digital cinema is lacking the natural artifacts of gate weave, so it is often simulated intentionally to breathe life into the image. And gate weave is particularly noticeable in old movies. Personally, I will seldom use this feature. This is a good effect though, if you're trying to achieve a more vintage feel to your images. What about drawbacks? Since it's beta 1.0 for Final Cut Pro, I have experienced some bugs like freezing, and I had to force quit Final Cut Pro and restart it to continue editing. The other bug that I have experienced was the plugin was inactive, meaning I can't see the controls, so I just had to restart Final Cut Pro once, and after that, it's back to normal like nothing happened. Lastly, it seems that the rendering times are longer, and I'm using a 2017 iMac with 40 gigs of RAM. I just hope that it won't be the case with the final version and the bugs that I've encountered will be addressed. So now that you've seen Dehancer Pro for Final Cut Pro, I'd say it's really mind-blowing what a plugin at this caliber can do. And you know, if you're like me, color grading isn't my strong suit. And that is why it's great to know that a plugin like Dehancer Pro existed. It's amazing and so easy to use and can definitely help someone like me to achieve the film look that I am looking for. And Dehancer Pro is for sure worth a look. Alright, that's about it for this video, and I hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.